They call me Squirrel.
What's going on, Squirrel Squad? It is your boy, the Squirrel. Today we're looking at King Charles III Coronation. Must-see moments. I got to be honest with you, I was looking forward to the coronation. I was looking forward to um, getting ready to being able to watch some of it and all that. But with sports, I was in and out catching little tiny snippets of it, and then I don't know if I told you or not, but Owen decided that snapping his arm was a good idea that day and broke his arm. So, anyhow, I'm going to catch up on it now and I'm going to watch the must see moments, right? Because, I mean, this way I can watch the coronation in 9 minutes and 45 seconds. That wasn't the plan, but that's what I'm going to do. So, let me check this out. If there's any moments you think that I should definitely check out that were missed in this video, let me know. I can look them up, check them out myself. I'd appreciate that. Here we go. Let's get into this right now. Let's check out the 9. I mean, yeah, right. The 9 minutes 45 seconds of the must see moments. You guys ready? I hope so, because it's time.
King Charles III was coronated after months of planning, decades of preparation, and centuries of tradition. It was the first coronation in Britain in 7 decades, and it marked a new era in the monarchy's history. The whole world witnessed this special event. Charles is the oldest monarch ever to be crowned, thus he undoubtedly made history. There were several firsts at his coronation, as well as many special moments. The ceremony kicked up in Westminster Abbey at 11 a.m. During the sound of a century-old coronation anthem, Charles entered the church, and those exact words were, "I was glad." The new monarch was very pleased, as seen by his bright smile. The coronation event featured a number of significant traditional moments. The oath of coronation, the investiture, the anointing, and the recognition were among them. During the first section, King Charles read out a prayer, making him the first monarch to do so at a coronation. Then he signed his oath to serve the nation. The anointing was the most revered and private chapter. Although most of it took place behind closed doors, the process itself is public knowledge. During this time, the Dean of Westminster poured holy oil onto the coronation spoon from a gold eagle-shaped flask known as the ampulla. Charles was then blessed by the Archbishop of Canterbury on his hands, breast and head. The king then put on a full-length coat made of gold silk cloth, and the next section began. He was now due to receive the royal regalia. The jewelled sword, which stands for the defence of the helpless, was one of the most impressive objects.
Defense of the helpless. You could sell that sword in defense of the homeless. Holy smokes. You could go build some houses with that. Look at that sword. Holy smokes. All right, so I just want to kind of, there's a lot of stuff just coming right at me. First of all, I want to say, all in all, I think that the event itself, I'm such an old school guy. I'm such an old soul. I'm such a traditionalist that these kind of things, I love it. I really do. I know that there's a lot of people that love the royal family, a lot of people that don't. I love the event. I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome. I think that keeping with tradition, a lot of things to me is important. I felt like this when I went to the theater. I talked a few months ago to you folks about how I went out to see the Phantom of the Opera before it left Broadway. I was able to get tickets for my wife and I to go. So we got all dressed up nice, I had my pea coat on and a shirt and tie, nice slacks. My wife had a beautiful dress on. My wife looks beautiful no matter what she dresses in, but she looked exceptionally beautiful that evening. And she had her little purse, and we walked around New York. And we looked awesome. And we showed up at the theater. I was so proud. I go into the theater, and I walk in, there's a bunch of slack-jawed assholes and jeans and t-shirts and just people just like walking around and it just wasn't like, I don't know, I was expecting the theater to be a place that still had some respect. Instead it's a bunch of morons walking around taking selfies, and it's like, yeah, the ignorance of this world has just snuck its way into every piece of it. And I'm sorry if it bothers anybody that I say that, but I like tradition. I like things to stay. I understand the world's going to progress, I get that, but I mean, there's certain things that are respectful things that I think should stick around, and that's what this reminds me of, anyhow. So, I don't. You all have a jacket made of gold in the closet, I'm sure. We all have a $20 billion sword, but it's kind of neat. I mean, look at this chair. Even the chair Gets the Coney Island feel to it, where people carve their name in it. It looks like. But let's continue on with this. I just want to kind of give my 2 cents on how I enjoy these kind of things. That like when he was coming down and they were curtsying. It's tradition. That's respect. I like that kind of stuff.
Charles then held the sovereign's orb that represents power and the Christian world. A representation of regal majesty is the sovereign's ring. And of course there was the crown, which was placed on Charles's head.
He doesn't get to wear the ring. Why is that? Because he can't get the other one off. That might be why. He's got some chubby digits like the squirrel.
And was accompanied by the words,
God save the king!
The crown is called St. Edward's crown, and it was made for Charles II back in 1661.
Wow.
It is composed of solid gold and weighs 4 pounds and 12 ounces.
Holy smokes. So this crown, not only is it worth a frickin' fortune, but this thing's 350 years old. Looks in great shape.
So wearing it is no easy task. Camilla was crowned queen shortly after, wearing Queen Mary's crown. For the first time ever, a queen consort was given an old crown rather than a brand new one. The decision was...
I'll be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. All the pictures I've seen and everything, I think it has to do with what they're wearing. But like the crown looks natural, kind of, on Charles. And I think it's because every picture I've seen him, he has like some long robe with a long train or something on it. And Camilla just has, a white dress with a white coat on. It looks out of place and odd. It looks too big for her head, probably because it is. But when I see the two of them sitting next to each other, he kind of fits the part. The crown looks goofy on her, and it has nothing to do. I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, she doesn't belong there." That's nothing to do with any of that. It's just not a good fit for her. Her shape, her head size, her body type. It's a huge, huge crown.
Taken in the interests of sustainability and efficiency, which Charles valued highly. However, it was not Camilla's only memorable piece of jewellery. She also wore a diamond necklace that had previously been worn in the coronations of 4 other queens, Alexandra, Mary, and Elizabeth II. The exquisite piece of jewellery, made in 1858, shined brightly from all angles and perfectly matched the crown. The coronation was far more understated than previous ones, despite the impression it gave some people that it was grand and pretentious. It was, for example, significantly shorter than Queen Elizabeth II's. Additionally, it was less formal and had 1/4 as many guests as the previous one. Not that a royal event is truly something you could call casual.
I was looking for Harry. I didn't see him.
However,
He was there, I think, right? But it wasn't. I was just looking.
Dress code has been changed to be more casual. Women were told, for instance, to dress in day dresses. Men were also recommended to wear a morning coat, a suit, or a military uniform. The country's present financial crisis explains all of those changes. Another reason is
Everyone looks pretty damn dressed up to me.
because Charles wants to show that he is a modern monarch. But the royal family's more informal attire did not prevent them from shining as brightly as they might. As usual, Princess Catherine raised a sensation with her great style. She chose magnificent accessories that honoured Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana. She was wearing a diamond necklace that belonged to the late...
God, I got goosebumps. Just mentioning Princess Diana. She was part of my childhood. Like, as a child, Princess Diana was my connection to England. Prince Charles and Princess Diana. Because in American media, we heard more about Charles and Diana than we ever heard about the Queen. So growing up, like, whenever I would see Charles and Diana on TV, it was exciting. They were the royalty of England. Not discounting the Queen in any way. I've learned so much more about her over the years, and she was amazing. But what was pumped out to us more was all about Charles and Diana, all the time. I was working at a bar called Grizzly's Steakhouse, and I was tending bar, and someone came in and said, "Princess Diana just died. Put the TV on." That's where I was. That's what I was doing. It's one of the only moments in my life where I can remember exactly what was happening. That and 9/11. And I don't know if there's any other moments really. Oh, and Space Shuttle Challenger when it blew up. Those are the 3 things I remember exactly what I was doing at the moment. Princess Diana, I remember that. I remember, like, because I turned it on the TV and everybody shut up. And for hours, the bar was silent unless someone just kind of would flag me over and they would quietly order something. I would give it to them. That's how much respect we had over here for the princess. crazy. It was crazy. I remember, I mean, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. Everyone was weeping for the loss of the princess. It was crazy.
Queen, and Lady Di formally owned her pearl drop earrings. The Princess of Wales finished her stunning ensemble with a royal blue cape and a glittering silver headpiece. Of course, everyone's attention was on her and Prince William's 3 children. Prince George, their eldest child, was one of Charles's 4 pages of honour. He carried his grandfather's robes inside Westminster Abbey and walked in the King's procession, and he was the youngest future king to attend a coronation.
That's
Charlotte
awesome.
resembled her mother in her lovely headpiece and stunning outfit. The girl and her younger brother acted like any other children during the coronation. They exchanged whispers and pointed fingers at something. Nonetheless, they were always respectful of the important day. William and Kate's 3 children were dressed in the 3 royal colours, as royal fans noticed. Charlotte wore white, George red, and Louis dark blue. However, the children weren't the only ones to steal attention from the King and Queen on their big day, because many people were keeping an eye on Prince Harry. However, it was
There he is. I was waiting for Harry to show up.
not a simple task. The Duke of Sussex was seated directly behind Princess Anne, who was wearing a headpiece with a large feather on it, and that feather frequently obscured the prince's face. Some royal supporters wonder if it was done on purpose. In any case, it was evident that Harry would play a minor role at the occasion. This is the first time he has seen his family in months, and 2 significant events occurred throughout the time. We're talking about his Netflix docuseries with Meghan Markle and his explosive memoir Spare, of course. So everyone was curious to watch how the prince interacted with his father, brother, and other relatives. However, the royal family didn't want to make too much of their disagreements visible. The prince was solely treated as a guest, with no official role in the coronation. He was also denied the right to wear his military uniform, which sparked outrage, because another member of the royal family with a bad reputation wore full regalia. We are talking about Prince Andrew.
All right, so I'll make a couple quick comments here and then we'll move on. So I'm just going to tell you an American perspective of how I look at some of these people we just spoke about, and how they're kind of fed to us through our media and what we learn. I learned different things through doing this YouTube channel. So I'm just going to give you what I feel a lot of us and how we look at things are. As a matter of fact, I saw a thing tonight, a piece, and I saved it, and whether or not I'll get to it, I'm not sure, but it's about Americans and how they feel about the royal family. I'm interested to watch that to see if I agree or disagree with it. But almost everybody over here thinks this guy's a scumbag. He's portrayed horribly in our media constantly, always talking about what a piece of crap this guy is, how he was over on Epstein Island. This guy has a horrible reputation in our country. Our media portrays this guy, even our liberal media, which usually tends to not paint too many people up as bad people without knowing all the facts, and they definitely try to steer clear of anything with any of their favorite people on Epstein Island, but even they don't treat this gentleman well. So that's this guy. As far as Harry and William go, Harry and William. William is the chosen son. He is the perfect royal. He plays the part of the royal the way he should. He respects the royal upbringing, I feel, and this is how I see it, and I'm telling you how I see it through what I see on TV here. His wife is a glowing example of the kind of woman you would hope that the future king would choose. She seems to be such a great person overall. I constantly see things about charitable things she's doing, about philanthropy work they're both doing. I mean, they seem like amazing people. Harry might as well be this guy's twin brother. I mean, that's the way the media treats him over here. Harry gets painted as, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but he gets painted as the brother who knew he'd never be king, so he turned into a shithead instead and took the me attitude to get some attention. That is definitely how Harry is seen, without a doubt. I'm sure people will disagree with me. Americans will be like, oh no, that's not how I see him. Well, sure, not everybody's going to see him the same way. That's how he's painted, though. And his wife, it's kind of 50-50 depending on what you see. She's either painted as an attention seeking fucking baby, or it's that poor woman of color, how dare they treat her like that. The royal family is a real bunch of scumbags for the way they treated her. So it all depends on who you talk to, and it all depends on how much of her stuff you believe and don't believe. I guess I really don't know, but I kind of lean more toward they're both acting like a couple of spoiled brats as far as I'm concerned, and this guy's a scumbag. That's how I lean, but that's just that's just how I feel. This guy might not be a scumbag. I've just never seen anything favorable about him. That's all.
And at least one member of the royal family did not attend the celebration. Harry's wife, Meghan Markle, was
Right.
that. The official reason stated was that their son, Prince Archie, celebrated his 4th birthday on the same day. So the Duchess made the decision to remain in the US and plan a private birthday celebration for him.
The Duchess knew if she went, it wasn't going to be all about her.
And after the coronation was complete, Harry himself vanished. He didn't even take part in the royal procession. Instead, he is said to have returned home to be with his children and wife. That's when all eyes returned to Charles and Camilla. Their Majesties rode in the parade on the Gold State coach. It is now more than 260 years old. Despite being stunning, the coach could only move at a walking speed due to its 4 tons of weight. Because of this, the procession was a little delayed, but it undoubtedly added to the grandeur of this important royal event. It also provided an opportunity for Prince Louis a chance to make silly faces to the crowd as they made their way to Buckingham Palace. At the time, one of the family members played a critical role. Princess Anne was chosen as a gold stick-in-waiting. In essence, this serves as the monarch's bodyguard, so it's always given to the one who can be trusted the most. Thus,
that explains the feather.
Anne was riding close behind King Charles and Queen Camilla as they made their way back to the palace. This essential practice stretches back to the Tudor era, so Anne was honoured to take on the role for her brother's big day. She was given this position by Charles for a reason, a royal source claimed. It was his way of thanking her for her years of unbroken service to the kingdom. Naturally, others from outside the British royal family attended the coronation as well. Guests from all across the world joined the coronation. For example, King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia of Spain, as well as royal couples from Malaysia, Japan, Thailand, and other countries were invited. Emmanuel Macron, the President of France, attended the event with his wife. Jill Biden, the First Lady of the United States, travelled to represent her nation alongside her granddaughter. It was also the first...
You know, Joe wasn't there. It's because when he found out it was in a castle, but it wasn't an inflatable castle he could jump around in, he said, I'm not going.
British coronation to allow guests of other religious faiths, Buddhist, Hindu, Jewish, Muslim, and Sikh leaders also attended the event. Female bishops served in the service for the first time in history. These new elements were set to reflect the diversity of modern society. Many people were happy to see the changes and accept their new king. Despite the rain, royal fans have been gathered outside Buckingham Palace all day. However, not everyone was pleased with the coronation. During the ceremony, there were large anti-royal rallies across the country.
Listen, everybody's got the right to their opinion. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but of course, you know, I mean, that's what the, you know, I'm surprised. I'll wait. I'm sure the Stop the Oil morons were there too. That's probably them, actually. I'm not sure.
The protesters wore yellow T-shirts and chanted, "Not my king." Police actions prevented them from ruining the day, as 6 protest leaders were arrested. So the coronation proceeded as scheduled, and the culmination occurred on the balcony of Buckingham Palace. King Charles III and Queen Camilla, together with the majority of their family members, went out to greet the throng. Prince Harry and Prince Andrew were not present, but everyone else was all smiles. And as usual, Prince Louis was waving to the fans as noticeably as he could. While they were standing there, the Royal Air Force's famous red arrows flew over the palace. It concluded the day's public celebrations. However, the King and Queen were so taken by their balcony moment that they walked out again, much to the delight of the onlookers. The coronation was indeed a spectacular sight to witness. It was an event for the ages, with hundreds of millions watching from around the world. And what do you think about the coronation? What was your favourite moment? Share in the comments below.
All right, so that was the coronation must-see moments. Sorry if I got a little long-winded there and gave my opinions on things. I'm not a big Harry fan. I think him and his wife are. I feel like they're just such attention seekers. I listen. I think I believe in everyone's right to protest. I think it's protesting is one thing when you're purposely ruining other people's lives. I don't think that should be something that's allowed. Like when you block traffic and block emergency vehicles, or when you try to ruin, Americana, as we would call it over here, like old school, like paintings, museums, stuff like that, or artifacts thing. I think that's a little bit, that's a little far, and I think they should just throw you in jail for that shit. I think that protesters have way too many rights when they pull dumb shit. If they want to protest, by all means, like, let your voice be heard. I'm not saying people shouldn't protest. I just think that when people take it too far, they should be treated as if they took it too far. They stopped. Oh, people are crazy and nuts over there. But anyway, I saw a thing earlier. I was looking at a piece earlier, and I may still do something. I'm not sure, but uh, um, the Crumpets sent me over a couple channels to check out, and they're like the motorcade people, like the motorcycle guys who guide the motorcade and stuff. So I was looking at a couple of videos trying to figure out, if I thought they'd be interested in it or not with my audience. And the problem is like it's just footage. There's no narration, there's no music, there's no nothing. So it's kind of, I'm just not sure that's gonna, but either way, it was still kind of neat. And there was a thing on there talking about how there was uh, Stop the Oil and BLM protesters over there at the Coronation. Black Lives Matter protesters were at the Coronation over in England. I didn't know that. We haven't heard hide nor hear of them in 2 years over here. They were protesting like crazy, and then they started getting called out for, what are you doing with all the money you're raising? You haven't helped a damn person. And all of a sudden they all shut up. So sorry if they're over there now. I don't know, but I think that the message of Black Lives Matter, absolutely 100% awesome and amazing. All lives from every race should matter to everybody. There should be no, like, oh no, we don't, I agree. Black lives do matter 100%. But I just think that the people that are spearheading the effort don't always have the best intentions personally. But that's whatever. I'm going to piss so many people off with this video, and I'm sorry. That's okay. If I'm going to be dishonest, why do this? So I'm just being honest with you. But yeah, Harry's a clown. Andrew's a clown. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Anyway, what did you think of the video? What did you think of the coronation? What are they missing here? Should I watch Prince Harry at the coronation? We try to be invisible. I see that little sucker sticking up in the corner here. Look, I'll show you. Look at there it is. Ooh, it's right over here. I don't know. Probably not. We'll see. Maybe. Anyways, that's all I got. I did enough commentating during the video, and now I've gone too long again. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you hate me. It's okay. And I'll catch you all real soon. Be good, all right? Hope you have a great day. Scroll up.